Insert three irrational numbers. Now we'll see how to insert three irrational numbers between 4 and 5 and 3 root 6 and 4 root 4. Let's see the first question. We have to insert three irrational numbers between 4 and 5. Let me write down the question. Okay, inserting three irrational numbers between 4 and 5. Previously I have explained you how to insert three rational numbers, and now I'm explaining to you how to insert three irrational numbers between given real numbers or radical numbers. So this is our first question. Between 4 and 5, the first thing that we have to do is we will write 4 and 5 as square root. Okay, that's the first step. We will write 4 and 5 as square root. That is, 4 is written as root 4, right? 4 square, which is equal to 16, root 16, and 5 is written as root 5 square, which is equal to root 25. So this is the first step we have to do when we have to insert three irrational numbers. The first thing is we will write those two numbers as square root. Okay, we will write them as square root. And so here, remember, we are inserting three rational numbers. So the numbers, these are irrational numbers. Okay, so the irrational numbers are root 16, root 25. So the irrational numbers will be between root 16 and root 25. Okay, so we'll have a whole group of irrational numbers between root 16 and root 25. So let me just write it down one by one. Root 16, root 17, okay, root 18, and thus. Now we know that root 16 is smaller than root 17, is smaller than root 18. Then the next and 25. So we have to pick up three numbers, irrational numbers, which will be between root 16 and root 25. Right, but remember, we will not pick up any number but only an irrational number. I will just explain to you here. Now if you remember, if you recall, when I was doing inserting rational numbers in between, right, in that we had to pick perfect squares, but this is an irrational number. We have to insert irrational numbers. We will not pick perfect squares. Okay, I repeat, we will not pick perfect squares when we have to insert irrational numbers. So any three irrational numbers between 4 and 5, okay, any three irrational numbers between 4 and 5, can be any number between 16 and 25, but they should not be perfect squares. Okay, they should not be perfect squares. So we will not use root 16 and root 25. Of course, also because root 16 is 4 and root 25 is 5. So we will not use those three numbers, but any other numbers other than these. Okay, I will just write it for you. We cannot take root 16 and root 25, okay, or any other number that will be perfect square. Root 17, root 18, root 19, root 20, root 21, root 22, 23, 24. These are not perfect squares. So we'll just pick up any three irrational numbers. That will be the answer. So let me just pick up the first three between 16 and 25. Root 17, root 18, and root 19. Now you see here that these are not perfect squares. That is why these are irrational numbers. Okay, so this is the answer. Root 17, root 18, and root 19. So three irrational numbers between 4 and 5 are root 17, root 18, and root 19. Let us see the second question. In the second question, we have to again insert three irrational numbers. Between 3 root 6 and 4 root 4. Okay, 3 into root 6 and 4 into root 4. Now here we know that 3 root 6 is equal to, when we bring 3 inside the root, it becomes the square. So we'll write it as 3 square into 6. That will be equal to radical symbol or root. 3 square is 9 into 6. And when we multiply it further, we get it as 9 6 are, I hope you know how much it is. 9 6 are, I hope you know the tables. Yes, 9 6 are 54. So 3 into root 6 is equal to root 54. Let's take the second term, that is 4 root 4. We'll bring 4 inside the radical symbol. That would become 4 square. Remember previous notes that I have sent, when there is no symbol, no index, we take it as square. So 4 square is 16 into 6. 16 into 6 would be how much? I think you should be also learning the tables of 16. Okay, 16 6 are 96. So we have got two terms, root 54 and root 96. Now we have got the first term and the last term. So any three irrational numbers between these two terms will be the answer for this question. But again, you have to remember that you will not use perfect squares. Okay, you will not use any of the perfect squares, which is between root 54 and root 96. So any three irrational numbers between 3 root 6 and 4 root 4. 3 root 6 we have found it out as root 54, and 4 root 4 we have found it out as root 96. So any three rational numbers between these two terms will be numbers between root 54 and root 96. you have to pick up any three irrational numbers, but like I said, those irrational numbers should not be perfect squares. So any irrational number between root 54 and root 96, I will just give a dot or a line, right, a short line to denote numbers between 54 and 96. So it would be like root 54, root 55, root 56, root 57, root 58, and till root 96. Now, like I told you before, let me again tell you that there should not be perfect squares. You should not pick any numbers between 54 and 96 that are perfect squares. There are two numbers which are perfect squares in between 54 and 96. They are root 64 and root 81. Right? Root 64 is the square of 8. Right? I hope you remember. And root 81 is the perfect square of 9. 9 nines are 81. So we will not use these because these are not irrational numbers. Okay, these two numbers are perfect squares, so we will not use this. So we can pick any three numbers other than root 64 and root 81 between root 54 and root 96. So therefore any three irrational numbers will be, for me I will just pick up the first three after root 54, root 55, root 56, and root 57. Okay, these are the three irrational numbers between 3 root 6 and 4 root 4. You can pick as 58, 59, and 60, but any three irrational numbers which are not perfect squares. So I hope you have understood this. You can just view it back and practice. Okay, that's the best way how you can understand it. So these are the two questions that I have showed you how to solve it, and I will just leave two homeworks for you, and I hope you will be able to do. These are the two homeworks. Insert three irrational numbers between 5 and 6 and between 2 root 5 and 3 root 3.